Live from the Canadian capital, this is the GBN Television News. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
We are taking pride in outstanding performance. We are encouraging and recognizing innovation. We are committed to continuously doing things better, with enhanced services coming soon. Yes, we are here for you. Check us out today for your financial need. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
This is the GBN Television News for Tuesday, April 6th, 2021. I'm Chrislyn Lashington. In the headlines, police say gunshot victim Chris Regis refuses to give a formal statement. 5 illegal Venezuelan nationals' deportation stalled as they await documentation. Police officers call on the nation workers to join their struggle on Wednesday for what could be a massive demonstration. RBTT rebranded to ACB Grenada Bank Limited. Our analyst tonight is Andre Lewis to tell us what this means in relation to the ongoing industrial action. In around the globe, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley tests positive for COVID-19. George Floyd murder case trial confirms unnecessary use of force. Coming up in sports, GFA season returns with the boys under 19 and women's 7v7 tournaments. Details right after this message.
Get high making money moves with the NLA's new Aces High Scratch game with 4 chances to win. Beat the dealer's card to win the prize shown. Reveal an A symbol. And just like that, you are automatically a winner. Scratch away to win the top prize of $10,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. Chris Regis's formal statement remains the critical and missing component in his matter involving the police that would most likely bring about closure to a matter that resulted in the death of Trevor Regis, the father of Chris. Superintendent of Police in charge of the Community Relations Department, Vannie Kerwin, addressed this issue during a press conference on Tuesday. Chrislyn John has the latest.
Dating back to October 21st, 2020, at Fontenoy, St. George, Chris Regis was allegedly shot by police, a single gunshot wound, during a police operation early that morning. The shooting arose from an incident in which the young man was allegedly seen smoking a joint of marijuana. According to reports, both the police and Regis were involved in a tussle, following which Regis freed himself, running away, and was allegedly shot in the upper arm from the back. An investigation was launched following the incident. However, to date, the matter remains open.
Done everything that we needed to do. At this point, as I speak to you, we do not have a formal complaint from Chris Regis. So in light of all of the hype and all of the concerns that were raised by the public and the demonstration, to this date and time, we do not have a formal complaint. We have investigated this matter to the point where we have taken statements from all and sundry who had something to say or who have seen something. We have concluded on the rest of our investigation. We have submitted a file to the DPP well over a month now, and we're waiting for the DPP's pronouncement on where we go from here. Unfortunately, I don't think much of a pronouncement can be made without a formal complaint from Chris Regis and a formal statement being taken from him.
The former swim coach lost the ability to effectively use his arm since the incident. Superintendent Kerwin says a decision has to be reached. However, it is out of their hands, and now this rests with the Office of the Department of Public Prosecution.
Last week, again, was one of our many efforts to reach out to the family to say we need to have Chris's version of the incident. We need to have a formal complaint from him. We needed to know from him exactly what has happened, because today we only have one side of the version and we cannot make a decision on what we have. Chris's evidence or information is critically important in us deciding one way or the other way this investigation goes. So to answer you specifically, that matter is still open, and unless and until Chris come and give us a formal statement, a decision will have to be made by the DPP, not by us.
Regis' incident is one that led to another major incident that resulted in the death of his father, Trevor Regis. Feeling emotional after the shooting of his son, who was hospitalized at the time, Regis Sr. went berserk and stabbed innocent police officers in St. George. He was subsequently shot by a police officer and lost his life. Chrislyn John, GBN News.
The documents for the deportation of the 5 Venezuelan nationals are still being prepared. This is according to Superintendent Vanny Kerwin in the latest update since the announcement by Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin last Tuesday. We get the details in this report.
Following the announcement last Tuesday, the situation with the illegal immigrants remains the same as they continue to be remanded at the Richmond Hill prison. 5 Venezuelan nationals were the latest to be detained during an operation by officers of the Drug Squad and Immigration Department. The arrest was made in an apartment in True Blue, St. George. They brought the number of illegal immigrants to Grenada for 2021 to 15. Superintendent Vanny Kerwin says this reinforces their concerns about illegal immigrants and the threat of COVID-19.
And as you raise the point of deportation, this is a concern for us. We are seeing, quite a large number of illegal immigrants are coming into our countries not using the authorized and approved port of entries, and so they are coming through the various bays and creeks, because our borders are very porous. That raises concern for us. Not only the fact that they are illegal, but the fact that we do not know where they are coming from and we do not know what they are bringing into Grenada. And that's why even if we have no active case on the island, we keep saying wearing of masks become a priority, because among ourselves we might be safe, but with the influx of these illegal immigrants bringing whatever they're bringing into the country and exposing all of us to it, we can have another outbreak just like that. And so it is critically important that we continue to abide by and obey the COVID protocols that are in place for our own protection. And now more than ever, with these influx of illegal immigrants, we're appealing to the public, please maintain your social distancing, continue to wear your mask, continue to keep your 6 feet distance from each other.
The men were taken to the St. George Magistrate Court on Tuesday, April 30th, where they pleaded guilty for illegal entry and were all ordered to leave the state of Grenada by the presiding judge. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
One man is 1 limb less and hospitalized following an altercation on the Easter weekend. More in this Chrislyn John report.
2 perpetrators remain at large, while 2 men remain hospitalized following Easter weekend incidents. One of the men is left 1 limb less, while the other nurses injuries. Corporal Cadena Douglas McLean, attached to the Community Relations Department during a press brief on Tuesday, says the biggest challenge was a crowd at Bathway Beach.
There was also a chopping in the parish of St. Andrew, Moncton to be precise, during the hours of Thursday night into Friday morning, and 1 man is presently hospitalized at the General Hospital. Due to the severity of his wound, his hand had to be amputated and he's still warded at the hospital. Stabbing at H.A. Street, St. George's, and that victim is also hospitalized at the General Hospital. Police continue their search for both perpetrators of these acts.
The officer spoke to a video that went viral on social media on Monday, which showed 2 young ladies involved in a fight. Corporal McLean explained how the police handled the matter as the 2 await their day in court.
2 young ladies who were seen fighting in a video over the weekend. Both individuals were also arrested and charged for fighting in a public place and causing harm.
Further updates on the Easter weekend activities were provided.
Eastern side of the island, 4 businesses in particular were shut down. 2 of them, they were granted permission to operate. The other 2, they were not granted permission to operate, and they had to be shut down because they exceeded the allotted amount of patrons for public gatherings. These business owners were also notified that charges will be preferred against them. And one in particular of concern to us was a gathering at Tivoli in St. Andrew, where that activity had in excess of 500 persons in attendance. And as I stated earlier, no permission for this activity, nor was permission granted for playing of amplified music at that activity.
He further stated that one male was arrested for violation of the COVID-19 regulations and was found with a quantity of Soursup, for which he was also charged. Overall, 32 COVID-violated tickets were issued. Chrislyn John, GBN News.
According to the chairman of the Grenada movement, Dr. Patrick Antoine, the government of Grenada is setting a bad example for Grenada's youth, as there is too much bacchanal involved in the struggle for public officers' 4% salary increase. He said the matter needs to be resolved as soon as possible. Trelana Charles has the details.
If a CARICOM national can get a judgment from the court, and our government will not conform swiftly to that judgment, but a foreign national can get a judgment from a court and our government conforms to it swiftly, then it raises some very real questions about our society.
Chairman of the Grenada movement, Dr. Patrick Antoine, while discussing the 4% salary increase saga between the government of Grenada and public workers, said all parties involved need to return to the negotiating table and come to a consensus about the 4% salary increase. Speaking on GBN's To The Point program, he described the government's failure to negotiate with the unions and attempts to pay even 1% as a monumental failure of leadership.
If the government had stopped by saying we can't pay anybody because the circumstances have changed and we now have to relook everything, that would have been okay. But they didn't do that. They paid some and didn't pay others. And so by any test, this to my mind is where leadership should have mattered. This to my mind is where the discussion should have taken place, not in the public domain. We like too much bacchanal. We don't want to talk to each other anymore.
He said teachers and public servants have a right to feel discontent since the government took on and resolved multiple other financial obligations, even though the 4% agreement came prior.
The teachers have a just right to feel that you did not honor mine, even when we take the COVID and the judgments of the court I've spoken about into account. But you've taken on Grenlet, you've taken on the airport, and you've also taken on new spending, right? For instance, through the environmental wardens.
Dr. Antoine said the saga can still be resolved, but that depends on the government and the unions' willingness to meet and simply talk to each other.
The government and the unions need to meet and demonstrate that our society has come further than this. And any party that fails to do so must know that our history will judge them cruelly, because when we should be coming together in the name of COVID and economic recovery that all of us want to see, what we're doing is spending time, unnecessary time, fighting and shouting at each other because we refuse to talk. We refuse to talk. Leadership is required, and the government must lead on this matter from in front.
Trelana Charles, GBN News.
Wednesday could be a massive display of the color red throughout the country if the call by the Grenada Union of Teachers is answered, as the push for public officers' payment of their 4% salary increase heightens.
President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, has sounded a call for all workers in Grenada to show solidarity to protesting public officers by wearing red on Wednesday. Bartholomew told GBN that while the issue is directly targeting the unpaid 4% salary increase owed to them by their employer, the government, they are also protesting all forms of injustices against workers. While not disclosing the fine details of where they will assemble or gather in the end, Bartholomew said they will notify the police and adhere to the COVID-19 protocol.
Starting from around 9:30, all right, so we're going to have a walk. The teachers are responsible people, and most definitely we're going to follow the COVID-19 protocols with our mask and everything, and the 3 feet social distancing. We would inform them, but we know most definitely that basically the public, teachers and workers have the right to assemble, the right to march, the right to walk, all right, to whatever. And based on the ILO convention, we have the right to take part in, whatever industrial action or industrial protests. All right. Basically, once your union call you, we have that right. The right to assembly as enshrined in the Grenada Constitution.
The Royal Grenada Police Force, in a strong worded statement issued less than 2 weeks ago, classified the protest actions of public officers as carnival-like demonstrations and accused the protesters of defying COVID-19 regulations. Police warned that should these violations continue, the response from the RGPF will be urgent and decisive to ensure compliance with the regulations. The GUT leader urges his members and the nation to not be intimidated as they let their voices be heard.
I want to make it clear, all right, to the nation and to our teachers, we need not be afraid to march. We need not be afraid to walk, all right? That is our right. And basically, it doesn't matter for where it comes from, whether from government, whether from whatever avenue, nobody is going to intimidate us and to prevent us from doing what we're supposed to do for justice, economic and social justice in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. So I'm calling our teachers to stand up strong in solidarity, together, all workers, all unions. Once we join together, and basically we come together, and with unity and strength and one purpose, it might take long, but we will be victorious.
Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
This is news at 7. Coming up, RBTT rebranded to ACB Grenada Bank Limited. Our analyst tonight is Andre Lewis to tell us what this means in relation to the ongoing industrial saga. Stay with us.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you. Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec, we are united even when we are apart. The safety and security of your information is always important to us. Ariza now offers chip cards, also known as EMV cards, which provide enhanced security for your purchases and are globally accepted. The new Ariza Credit Union Visa International Debit Card continues to have the traditional magnetic stripe with the additional security feature of a chip and can now be used at both chip and traditional magnetic stripe terminals. For your added protection, always keep your PIN private and store your chip card safely in a RFID pouch. Visit arizacu.com to learn more on how to protect your account information. Ariza Credit Union, your financial freedom, your future.
How going on, boy? Hey, good old things. Hey, Daisy. Yeah. Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day. Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service. Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy. Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Protest action resumed on Tuesday, April 6th at the newly branded ACB Caribbean, the location which once housed RBT Grenada Limited. GBN was brought up to speed on what the present situation is regarding employees.
Employees continue in protest action over unsettled matters in front of what is now the ACB Caribbean. The entity has been rebranded on the weekend from what was RBT Grenada Limited to ACB Caribbean. Former management has changed and now the onus is on the new management to make the adjustments or to address those issues. We hear from one of the union's representatives on the position where they are at in terms of getting these matters settled. Godwin Chappell Thomas, organizing secretary for the Technical and Allied Workers Union, the bargaining agent for the bank's employees, says no meeting was held as expected towards the end of last week. However, their position remains the same and is prepared to meet with the management at any time.
See, the workers is still out, so that means that there was no change. The law is very clear on this matter, and we are with the bank still. This is the first day of the operation on island, and as a new employer, a new business on the island, it's not a good thing to be seen outside there. In fact, the bank should move speedily to have this matter rectified. That meeting was not held. Certainly there was no meeting with the new owners, or the owners who are left had met with us over the last weekend. We haven't met at all. So the status quo remains.
Thomas says the bank still owes them a response based on a document issued.
Though as union, we put forward a memorandum to the bank. We have sent off that last Thursday it was, I think it was. We have not got any response on the proposal that we put forward to them. It hasn't reached us up to now.
On Tuesday, the bank's new owners issued a statement regarding its striking workers who wants the option to accept severance. The statement reads, and I quote, "We have secured agreement from RBC to retain sole responsibility for this outstanding labor dispute. We have also ensured that any and all severance entitlements that may be finally determined due and payable are secured in an escrow fund in a segregated account." We respect the staff's decision as guided by the union's representative, the Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union, the GTAU, noting that this action is within their rights so to take. Additionally, the ACB Caribbean states that it subscribes to open dialogue on employee-related issues and looks forward to the staff's cooperation and understanding under the circumstances. Under the circumstances, therefore, we ask that the staff recognize that the dispute resolution process under the collective agreement to now be exhausted. The statement reads.
From in front of ACB Caribbean, I am Chrislyn for GBN News.
A new beginning for what was RBTT Grenada Limited, officially now under new ownership, while the long-standing battle over employees' benefits continue. We welcome our guest tonight, Mr. Andre Lewis, President General of the Technical and Allied Workers Union. Mr. Lewis, good evening.
Good evening to you, and thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know you're a busy man, especially with what's been happening recently. Now tell us, there was a meeting held this evening in an attempt to resolve this matter. What is the latest on this issue?
Let me first of all clarify this. I'm not aware of any meeting being held this afternoon to resolve the matter. What I do know, we must express our very deep concern that in the middle of an industrial dispute, that the Antigua Commercial Bank saw it fit to come into Grenada to operate. Taking into account that the government of Grenada gave us its commitment that the change in ownership will not be allowed to operate pending the resolution of the industrial matters. I'm absolutely certain that knowing our comrades in Antigua, in the trade union movement, knowing how the governments in Antigua operate, both the sitting government and the opposition, they will not allow a matter like this in Antigua to unfold and allow any outside company, any company from any other island to come into the country and operate in the still of the night while this matter is outstanding. And it begs into question ACB Caribbean's understanding and appreciation and respect or lack thereof for the Grenadian worker. As a new entity, you saw it fit to come into the middle of an ongoing industrial dispute when we, as the Technical and Allied Workers Union, wrote to you, pointing out to you the importance of allowing this matter to resolve first before you got involved. And therefore, it begs into question what is actually happening here. I should let you know that over the weekend, on Saturday gone, the union, in dialogue with RBC Financial Caribbean, submitted a proposal along the line of a without prejudice agreement to try to find a resolution to the matter. The bank undertook to get back to us, and up to this moment, as we speak to you, we have not yet heard from them. So we
have a statement here from the bank, and maybe you can tell us more. ACB Grenada Bank Limited issued a statement earlier today on staff industrial action, and I quote, it says, "We have secured agreement from RBC to retain sole responsibility for the conduct of this outstanding labor dispute. We have also ensured that any and all severance entitlements that may be finally determined due and payable are secured in an escrow fund in a segregated account," end of quote. My simple mind asks, if this money is already secured, you no longer hold ownership of the institution, workers want their monies, and the Labor Commissioner and Minister ruled in the workers' favor, what is the sticking point in simply paying the workers?
The answer can simply be probably because they're Canadian bank and they look at us differently. I do not want to say as black people, right? I do not want to go down there as yet, but your mind has raised the exact thing that has occupied our thought for the longest while. As a matter of fact, the monies that they claim to put in an escrow account is much more than what is expected to be paid out now, because it is not all the workers who wants to be retrenched. So the question is not money. And for many of these companies, it is never about money, but it's about looking down on us, right? It is another means of frustrating the workers, trying to frustrate the union, because the process that they are speaking about is designed to drag this thing out until workers die and until workers get frustrated, because it is not about money. The Labor Commissioner, the Minister for Labor, in keeping with the collective agreement that we have already pronounced on the matter. It's not a question of money. They have indicated that they have put aside that money and take it from us. The monies that they put aside is much more than what is expected to be paid out, because it is a part of the workforce that wants to go. And if they have to put aside money, it will be on the basis of all workers going. And we know that it is not all workers that want to go. As a matter of fact, the proposal that we have made is to pay the workers who want to go, and we give a commitment that these workers shall make themselves available to the new owners for as long as up to 6 months to assist in the transition. So this is not just about money, but this is about a Canadian bank looking down on us in the Caribbean region and in Grenada in particular. I'm absolutely confident that that cannot happen in Antigua. Be it the sitting government or the opposition, if they were in office, will not allow that to happen.
And my last quick question for you, you mentioned the collective agreement. The statement tells staff to recognize that the dispute resolution process under the collective agreement must now be exhausted. So, Mr. Lewis, is the process exhausted?
Yes, it has been exhausted, because any other process has to be with the agreement of the parties. In other words, the parties can decide how to resolve the matter. And they are taking an approach that is designed to frustrate the workers. We have had experiences with other companies, some of them foreign-based, that have taken these processes, tied it up for years and years, as much as 10, 15 years, and that is what they are aiming to do. But let me also point out here that come tomorrow, this matter shall be escalated. The Technical and Allied Workers Union have other resources that we shall use at our own disposal and our own timing. At the same time, we have called upon all our members under the Technical and Allied Workers Union to report to work tomorrow in red as a show of solidarity with the public sector workers and the RBTT workers. And there shall be some of our strategic members, workers, present with us tomorrow morning as a means of showing our solidarity with the workers. RBC, Financial Caribbean, must not be allowed to get away with looking down at Grenadian workers. And it is in ACB Caribbean interest to have got this matter resolved before they came here. And what is worse, there is a minimum of 4 workers from Antigua currently working in Grenada, as our workers are on industrial action. I am sure that the Antiguan government will not allow any Grenadian worker or any other national to come into Antigua to work while the nationals are fighting for the rights of the workers based on the pronouncement of the Labour Commission and the Minister for Labour. We want to resolve the matter, but it has to be done with dignity. And therefore, we shall pursue the matter.
Well, it sounds like we'll be hearing from you very soon, considering what you have planned for tomorrow. It's always a pleasure to have you as our guest, Mr. Lewis. Thank you so much.
Come tomorrow and see what will be happening.
All right.
Yes?
Thank you so much. That was Mr. Andre Lewis of Tawu. Moving on, the Republic Bank has welcomed its first female managing director. Mrs. Naomi Diali replaced former managing director Mr. Keith Johnson as he leaves the helm of the Grenada operations to take up his new appointment as managing director of the Republic Bank in Suriname. Johnson was seconded to Grenada from the Republic Bank in Guyana in 2009. During his 12 years as head of the Grenada operations, Johnson was credited for keeping the bank profitable, growing the assets base from $739 million in 2009 to $1.8 billion as at February 2021. Another of his noteworthy accomplishments is the successful acquisition of the Scotiabank operations in Grenada in 2019, which restored Republic Bank as the largest commercial bank in Grenada. Mrs. Naomi Diali, a Grenadian citizen, is a career banker with over 25 years of experience in commercial credit, corporate credit, and risk management streams. Her appointment took effect on April 1st, 2021. And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Trelano Charles has been looking around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. The Rivasali Saraka, a traditional way of paying respects to the ancestors, brings together people from all walks of life. This year, despite the chief medical officer's refusal to grant permission to host the event, organizers say it is still going to happen in a takeaway edition intended to accommodate all COVID-19 protocols.
I think that they just looked at it and said, no, it's something to congregate, and it's a no. But if they had taken the time off to actually seek information and find out what it was about and find out how we are actually going to play out that day, I think things would have been a little different.
Our online audience gave their opinions on the situation. Amanda commented, a good plan, but sadly, no one listened. While some fet spots or hot spots have major parties every weekend and not a problem. Another individual commented, oh Lord, what's wrong with this government? They're just trying to make things a bit harder for our people. Hudson commented, Saraka's celebration is for the ancestors. The government, politics, and politicians shouldn't have any involvement in the event. Fred wrote, although permission was not granted, the event is on. So blatant disregard for COVID-19 protocols is displayed. What say you, Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin? You were quite vocal with the teachers when they were exercising their rights. Melvon commented, Grenada is an island. The only way COVID-19 can come on the island is if the Ministry of Health and Ministry of National Security are not doing their work on the port of entry. So the Chief Medical Officer isn't thinking right. Something is wrong with his judgment. And this individual commented, this is a constitutionally protected activity. That is religious activity. No permission needs to be had to celebrate this activity. Hence, the CMO is out of place and out of his league to deny permission. Grenadians, know your rights. That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. If you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
From the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through the GBN ISAW lens.
A good eye catches all. GBN ISAW is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Ever watched someone's success and get so happy that you almost feel like it's your success? That's the feeling for tonight's ISAW submission. Our ISAW reporter said after years of trying to grow Irish potatoes, and I quote, "I have finally succeeded right here in sunny Grenada," unquote. Irish potatoes are not Irish at all, but are native to the South American Andes. All parts of the plant are toxic if eaten, except for the properly harvested and stored tubers. Did you know that Irish potatoes have become one of the world's most important and nutritious foods behind only corn, wheat, and rice? Thank you to our ISAW reporter. We're happy for you. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
That would be nice to put in a fish broth. Still ahead, Dr. Wendy C. Grenade highlights what she believes COVID-19 uncovered as part of the 6th annual Carol Bristol Distinguished Lecture Series. This is News at 7.
Wacky Virtual Bingo! And the next one's going down on Sunday, April 11th from 6 p.m. Don't believe me? Get a ticket and try it. This time, you can win US $10,000. $10,000! Remember, if you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. Tickets are only $10 US. And for persons playing for the first time, a special discount price awaits you in Grenada. Tickets are available at gotofed.com and from numerous box offices island-wide or at our main office on Grove Street Mall. If you're overseas, then tickets are only available at gotofed.com. This is the big one, and it's going down Sunday, April 11th. Join all the fun and excitement online. Play Wacky Virtual Bingo. It's the new way to play. Bingo.
There are those who say they care, and then there is Jediah's Pharmacy, conveniently located at the front entrance of the Grove Street Mall, right next to a Riser Credit Union. We offer premium quality products and services, and when you need us, we are there, offering you around-the-clock service, Mondays to Fridays, 7:30 to 7 p.m., Saturdays, 9 until 7 p.m., and Sundays, 10 until 2. At Jediah's Pharmacy, we show care with a beautiful smile. Call us today at 440-5342. The number again, 440-5342. Jediah's Pharmacy, affordable and totally dependable.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
Officers attached to the Criminal Investigations Department St. George arrested and charged a River Road resident for 12 property crimes over the weekend. Charged with 6 counts of stealing, 5 counts of housebreaking, and 1 count of attempted breaking is 43-year-old Joshua James. The value of articles stolen ranges between $8,000 to $10,000. In an unrelated matter, 18-year-old Renee Francis of Laborie, St. George, was also charged for stealing a motor vehicle valued $20,000. Both men appeared at the St. George's Magistrates Court on Tuesday, 6th of April, 2021, and were remanded to Her Majesty's Prison and will reappear in court on April 16th, 2021. The GUT Credit Union donated $1,000 to the Golden Rock Kids Club to help develop a literacy corner for young children. The Golden Rock Kids Club is a not-for-profit organization in Brunswick geared toward improved literacy for children on the island of Carriacou. Currently, it supports over 30 children from Jean-Pierre in the north to Harveyvale in the south. Owner of the club, Mrs. Emma Williams, expressed her appreciation for the timely contribution. Marsha Douglas, officer in charge of the GUT's Carriacou's branch, said the credit union is dedicated to supporting Carriacou with such an important initiative. The GUTCU said that as a credit union, giving back to the communities in which it operates is a central part of its core values. The credit union maintains that it is a proud supporter of education, youth, and financial literacy initiatives. Stay with us. The weather and sports up next.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again. At Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
Let's take a look at tonight's minimum temperature, 24 degrees Celsius. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy and hazy with a medium chance of a few brief isolated showers. Winds northeasterly to easterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Seas slight to moderate with waves 3 to 5 feet in open water. There are no warnings at this time. Tides are low at 6 p.m., so we just missed that, and high at midnight. We're clearly missing that also. Looking ahead on Wednesday, the sun will rise at 1 minute past 6 in the morning and set at 19 past 6 in the evening. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy and hazy with light morning showers, medium chance of some brief showers by mid-afternoon. Still looking ahead to Thursday, mostly fair and hazy with a low chance of a few brief nighttime showers during partly cloudy spells. And on Friday, mostly fair and hazy with a low chance of a few brief morning showers during partly cloudy spells. That's it for your weather forecast on GBN News. National Under-19 Boys Tournament kicked off the start of the 2021 Grenada Football Association season last week. April 1st saw the resumption of official competitions in which 4 of the 7 scheduled matches garnered results. Communications officer at the GFA, Nisha Peters, brought us up to speed with the results.
We went on to Springs. They played at Happy Hill, and that game went 2-0 in favor of Happy Hill FC. Then we had Sab, and we had St. John's Sports. That game drew 2-2. And then we also had Queen's Park Rangers and Honford. That game went in favor of Queen's Park Rangers 4-2. And then we had FC Kamahan again today, Honford U19, and that game went in favor of FC Kamahan, which were 2-1.
Matches continue from today as well as into Wednesday.
In today's matches, we have Bellevue Rangers United team come against Combined Northerners, and that game is being played at the Lashington playing field. It kicks off at 4:30 p.m. And also we have the Royal Grenada Police Force United team taking up against Happy Hill. That is being played at the Roy St. John ground. Over in River Sally, from 5, we have Hatter Up. They come up against North Stars. The U15 game against Springs, that game has been postponed. And then we have St. John's Sports. They come up against Paradise, and that game will be at Colbert Peters Park from 6 o'clock today.
Meanwhile, the Grenada Football Association Women's League kicked off on Saturday in a 7v7 format at the Rose Hill playing field. It brought about the return of a women's football tournament to the GFA calendar after a 2-year hiatus. Communications officer at the GFA, Nisha Peters, says it is a positive start for the women's football, with much more to be done going forward.
We had games being played between FC Kamahan and Bellevue Rangers. FC Kamahan got the better of that team with 22 goals. The Bellevue Rangers have a lot of work to do in their camp. The Boca Juniors versus RGPF St. Paul's game, that game has been postponed. Then we had the Queen's Park Rangers taking on the St. Andrews Valgards. That's the Valgards, the new team in St. Andrews that is now coming up. So Rangers had a 7-0 victory over them. Then we had GBS Sports Club. They came up against Paradise FC International, and Paradise FC got the better of them, 8-0.
Wow, 22 there. Peter says matches are expected to continue on the weekend with a revised fixture. Bahamian sprint queen Shanae Miller-Weibo threw down the gauntlet to would-be challengers over the 200 meters on Sunday when she sped to a world-leading 22.03 run at the Pure Athletics Spring Invitational in Claremont, Florida. The time that was her fastest ever wind legal outdoor opener eclipsed the previous best in the world this year of 22.17, set in Texas by Gabrielle Thomas on March 27th, and would have sent shivers down the spines of potential 200-meter finalists at this summer's Olympic Games in Tokyo. The extraordinary Bahamian was also more than a half-second faster than second-placed Cornera Haynes, who clocked 22.68. Lena Irby was third in 22.75. That's it for sports around the globe. Up next. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has tested positive for COVID-19. In a statement on Tuesday morning, the office of the Prime Minister said that Rowley started experiencing flu-like symptoms late Monday and was subsequently tested for the virus. The Prime Minister is now in isolation and under medical supervision. Rowley had spent the Easter holidays in Tobago and was scheduled to be vaccinated on Tuesday, the same day the Twin Island nation launched its vaccination program after receiving more than 33,000 AstraZeneca vaccine doses. The country of 1.2 million people has reported more than 8,000 cases and 145 deaths. In a rare move, a U.S. Minneapolis police chief, Mediara Arradondo, has testified that the officer accused of murdering black man George Floyd broke rules on respecting the sanctity of life on the sixth day of the trial. He said former police officer Derek Chauvin went against police training by kneeling on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes. Chauvin has been charged with murder and manslaughter in the death of Floyd, who was unarmed in May of last year. Al Jazeera's Alan Fisher reports from Minneapolis in the USA.
An important cultural moment when a police chief took the stand to testify against one of his former officers. Madara Arradondo said the alleged crime George Floyd committed, passing a fake $20 bill, did not merit the initial response of guns drawn, and the force used to restrain him was unnecessary.
Once there was no longer any resistance, and clearly when Mr. Floyd was no longer responsive and even motionless, to continue to apply that level of force to a person proned out, handcuffed behind their back, that in no way, shape, or form is anything that is by policy. It is not part of our training, and it is certainly not part of our ethics or our values.
The police chief also told the jury the officers on the scene that day in May last year had an obligation and the training to provide basic medical treatment to their prisoner.
We have a duty of care, and so when someone is in our custody, regardless if they're a suspect, we have an obligation to make sure that we provide for their care.
This was a significant moment. Critics have often complained about the so-called blue wall, police officers refusing to give evidence against one another. This was a mighty big crack in the wall. Chief Arradondo, the man who fired Derek Chauvin the day after George Floyd died, an important witness for the prosecution. Earlier, the court heard from the doctor who pronounced George Floyd dead. Dr. Bradford Lagenfeld tried for 30 minutes to revive him to save his life. He said he believed what happened at the scene could have been responsible.
Was your leading theory then for the cause of Mr. Floyd's cardiac arrest oxygen deficiency?
That was one of the more likely possibilities. I felt that at the time, based on the information I had, it was more likely than the other possibilities.
And doctor, is there another name for death by oxygen deficiency?
Asphyxia is a commonly understood term.
Under cross-examination, the doctor agreed that the use of drugs might also cause significant problems leading to asphyxia. It's expected Day 7 will spend a lot of time considering expert medical testimony, a part that may be key to the prosecution case. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, at the Chauvin trial in Minneapolis.
That's it for Around the Globe. Stay tuned for a recap of the headlines. Let's recap the headlines. Police say gunshot victim Chris Regis refuses to give a formal statement. 5 illegal Venezuelan nationals' deportation stalled as they await documentation. Public officers call on the nation workers to join their struggle on Wednesday for what could be a massive demonstration in red. RBTT rebranded to ACB Grenada Bank Limited. We thank our analyst tonight, Mr. Andre Lewis, for sharing what this means for protesting employees. In around the globe, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley tests positive for COVID-19. George Floyd murder case trial confirms unnecessary use of force. In sports, GFA season returns with the boys under 19 and women 7v7 tournaments. If you missed any parts of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on GBN Television's Facebook page or YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Chrislyn Lashington. That's the news. We'll see you again. Good night.